We was doing the same thing.
Oh, you know how I do, man. You know,
Nah, you.
it's a 420. It's a 420 night. You know, late night red eye.
So we got some. So we got some sacrament, a little sacrament. You feel me? 420.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was just
you
doing.
got any questions?
Shit. Um, I don't know. I'm third generation 274. If that do anything, you know what I'm saying?
Big box.
You know.
215, 19.
Um, I arrived around Milwaukee in Chicago area. What's that about? I mean, really, like ran around the cities around. What's that? 94.
That's what I was. I was in the county in Cook County in '94.
Uh-huh. And I got introduced to the culture. You know what I mean? Through my step family. You know what I mean? Jamal Joseph's my uncle. You know what I mean? That's the same as Pop. You feel me? I go by the name of Righteous. You know what I mean? But I'm familiar with you. You know?
For sure, for sure.
And
Yeah,
that man,
I'm
what
ready.
I mean, if anything, ring a bell. I'm just trying to, I'm just ringing bells right now. You feel me?
Hey, what Black Rob say? Coward ass niggas don't ring no bells. I been snatching niggas up by the coat lapels.
I like, I
Yeah.
like how you, I like how you talk. You know what I'm saying? I call that spirit talk.
So look, I'm
Mm-hmm.
7'4", but a lot of the light codes that we use to communicate with our people was learned from studying 5% doctrine, Nuwabian doctrine, um, Peace Stone doctrine. They all gave me their literature, right?
Damn.
And when I was able to become familiar with how each tribe communicated their higher knowledge, then a whole new world opened up to what I was looking at in the graffiti art, in the music,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I started hearing stuff in the music that
Mm-hmm.
average person didn't hear, you
Yeah.
know. But that's from knowing so many different pieces to different parts of the culture. Because
Mm-hmm.
they all think we were supposed to be one tribe at one time. But we've been broke up into tribes since we've been here.
Yeah, and just to jump on that, I concur. And with my experience, like on my journey, like I said, it took me, to commune, with the bosses and the G's, and kept me on the right side. You know what I mean, and taught me, that knowledge. You know what I mean, but and I give that up to the Holy Spirit and the ancestors.
You know, my favorite law, my favorite law is aid and assist.
Mm-hmm. Aid and assist, right?
Aid and assist any and all righteous brother and any and all righteous endeavors.
G bless. Nah, but what you just said something real, real divine and real central to the understanding of what the whole community needs to start understanding of what we are experiencing through our senses on our journey and communion with the spirit, but I call the Holy Spirit, but I got that from my people. You feel me?
Yeah,
And my
that's
big
one of
mama.
Malachi. That's one of Malachi York names, Ruhu Kadush, the Holy Soul. Ain't that something? Yeah.
All right, Malachi. I got introduced to Malachi when I was 16. I was with the Geechees in Charleston, South Carolina, North Charleston to be exact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy I was in high school, but this guy I used to work with, he was a young man though still, but he was in the Air Force. So he used to go out there, you know, to the pyramids in Georgia all the time and come back and report back and give the pamphlets out. And I used to receive them. And I've been studying for a long time. You feel me? So I'm around 16. So I received Malachi's books. You know, what it did was it just opened another portal and expanded my boundaries of looking at the universe, you know, and seeing the truth. And that boy spit.
Yeah,
That boy, because he was spitting the same things I was learning. And this was the time we ain't had no internet this time. So
yeah,
how did I learn? Well, one thing, first and foremost, you know, my grandparents and my parents, you know, where I come from, you know. But then my father's library, you feel me? So, you know, we had to do things like that. Like it was a secret thing. And we couldn't even talk to everybody about this stuff. You
yeah.
know?
You know, we get taught that too. 'Cause you can't
Mm-hmm.
tell everybody everything all the time because everything ain't for everybody.
You still can, but the veil is more down, so we speak it. But I mean, it's time to speak. I guess the veil down. That's the answer. But yeah, back in the day, we couldn't even do it like this. We was real quiet about our things, and that gave us a lot of trauma, also. But it built a strength in us, those who endured, because a lot of what we went through, especially say grandma and them boys had to go crazy. All the craziness going on around them. And while they was going crazy, because they were so talented and so gifted from the talents of the Most High, the true self, the senses, you know what I mean? And it was a battle against to keep them down and to keep them think they crazy because trying to keep a veil up. But they can't now, so we speak, and that's why I respect you and I see what's going on. And all them, they all know. I see them all lie. You see that eye? I'm talking a little bit, but I'm on the low still. You feel me?
For sure, for sure. You know how I
But
go.
I appreciate it. I
All right.
appreciate it. But I'm going to let you get to the people. And I'm going to just go
All
ahead and smoke with you, man.
right.
Be blessed. I
For
appreciate
sure.
it.
Keep puffing. I'm take another caller in.
All right. And we in tune. I got
All right.
you. Be blessed. Peace.
Doing. Question I wanted to ask. So Bobby Hemmett stated that the ones who are not us but look like us, the hidden hand, that they came at the beginning of creation, or they came when the original creation came.
Right.
My two questions are how and why.
Well, the how is they was a reflection of us becoming mortals,
Ah,
right? They
okay.
just so what end up happening is, and when you create something, you're going to create an opposite, right? The
Yes.
creator is responsible for his creation.
Mm,
So if you create a righteous being on the planet, the default, we in the law opposites, then
yes, sir.
the unrighteous will automatically manifest.
Okay.
Okay, that's the how. The other question was the why.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you need two opposing forces to propel the growth. You need the righteous to be encountered by unrighteousness in order to bring their righteousness to the surface. If you never confronted opposition, you have no way of knowing how strong you really are.
Factual.
So the why is to push us to become our best self while we overcome the snares and the traps that the unrighteous set in our path.
Okay.
So it's just a manifestation of universal law at work. So when righteous come, unrighteousness follow. When you try to do something good for people, other people gonna try to find something dirty about it, bad. They gonna try to tear your character down, everything they can to stop you from speaking the truth, standing in the position of right, because you're in the superior jurisdiction. Once you enter your power, they can't do nothing but fall in line with the order of the spiritual ranking system. Spirit artificial is at the bottom of the spiritual ranking system, but their power is opposite equivalent to the ones at the top.
Okay.
So the ones periodically will topple the ones at the top as soon as they fall off balance. The off balance part came with what we call genetic tampering. And this is what Bobby Hemmett referred to as the great debauchery.
Yes.
When they start messing with the human DNA, creating chimeras. Most people don't even know that at some point their DNA was tampered with and they got animal DNA fused with human DNA from laboratory experiments done in the Indus Valley. So now it's just like Genghis Khan DNA is in a sizable portion of all of the men on the planet, his Y chromosome.
That I did not know.
Yeah, Google it. It's easy to look up because
Absolutely, I will.
his family, the Khans, Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, all them, they were the only ones making babies. So the bloodline carries the Y chromosome to a high percentage. But when you go to primordial Adam, primordial Adam has a definite date of about 60,000 years ago. Right? That's the common Y chromosome link all males on the planet have. Right? And so when you go back before primordial Adam, the number of men was so small on the planet that it was easy to lose a strain of Y chromosome because men was fewer than they are now. And women on the planet outnumber men just by gender alone, something like 4 or 6 to 1. But when you add in the gender confusion to it, then the numbers increase. And then you got to add up to all of the ones that defected from the societies and became monks. Then the number increases again. They become priests, vows of celibacy. So the choice picking for a lot of the women has been dwindled down to scraps and leftovers in the genetic pool. Yeah, so it's very few prime, genetically prime males for the women to have strong children into the future. It's not a lot of them. It's a lot of guys can make babies, but a lot of them don't have what's called prime DNA or royal DNA.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that makes it where it's even fewer. The higher you go up in rank, it's even less men that's qualified for the women of the higher ranks. So this is when the women became polyandry, became polygamy. You used to have men trainers, and the women used to know how to use one man to make the other man act right in the relationship, and she had a harem of men. They called that condition polyandry. And this is how you dealt with domestic abusers. He had to live in those situations because if he put his hands on that woman, all the rest of the men gonna lump his ass up.
As they should.
Right. So, but only certain women were psychologically equipped to deal with a harem of men, and she knew how to use each one of them's position in order to keep the rest of them in line. That's not common. The average woman, the average woman can't function under those conditions, and I call them nigga trainers. She turned a nigga into a man. And they not, and most of the men scared of them women. I'm talking about they don't want to touch her, they don't want to go by her. I'm like they intimidated by her presence. You see certain women walk in the room and they start dropping, the men start dropping their head because they know she's not malleable, controllable like your average woman. She gonna make him either get in line or one of the other men around her gonna support her to get him in line. And he can sense it, but he don't know what he's sensing. So he won't talk to her. He gonna get away from her. She gonna make him do right. He don't want that. If she gonna make him do right, then that means that he gonna have to be a real man. He gonna have to learn how to do something. He gonna have to make something of himself. And then that's where the conflict in relationships in the modern era come in, because you got a bunch of beta males think they alphas.
That's factual. And I would say that I experienced that, something similar to that, when I open my mouth and speak. Like based on my looks alone, I'm a petite woman. I'm 100 pounds. But when I open,
but that energy, that big mama energy. Most of the big mamas, if you look at them, they be the littlest thing with that little bun up there with her little gray streaks in it. $105, and she's still big mama. She's still gonna make you be about your business, or you ain't gonna be able to function around her. And if you act out of line, it's gonna be somebody. The dude might not even know her. Hey man, what she just tell you to get away from her, man? Go and find you some, move around, get you somewhere to go. It's the instincts that we forget that we have drive us to behave a certain way in the presence of certain people. Certain women make men go sexually insane. They can't control themselves. And then you got other women that all the men trying to get away from her. And it ain't because she ugly and unattractive, it's because they scared she gonna make a man up. He can sense the difference.
True. Factual. Okay. May I ask one more question? I'm sorry, and I'll keep it brief, I promise.
Okay.
Why, in your opinion, why were men created?
Earth was being invaded by a different species, and the women had a meeting and said that if they wanted to be able to fight a physical conflict, they needed men with stronger, denser muscles for the combat. And what made them follow through is they also found that the men would be good for companionship. So they wanted protectors and they wanted lovers.
I'm not surprised. That isn't a surprise, I've been asking this question to my spirit team for a while, and I thought I had the answer, but I didn't feel satisfied, and that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. I went through that. I went through that when I was going through the "what the hell am I here" phase. What I'm here for? Yeah. So when you keep asking yourself, you're gonna find the answer wherever it's at. And you might, just because you ask don't mean you're gonna like the answer.
I know that part. I definitely know that.